Hello, my name is Megan Savage, and this is our signature assessment on professional learning communities video. I did my article on the key to improved teaching and learning by the professional learning communities. It was by Rick Dufour, and it was published in fall of 2009. The main points that my article hit on was how can we achieve student successfulness, and then how school improvement is beneficial to student achievement instead of trying to improve individual teachers. The arguments in my article was how do we improve teaching to achieve student achievement, and why system thinking has more advantages than individual teacher improvement. This was also the key ideas of my article as well. So system thinking is basically a system approach to school improvement, and the article broke this topic down into different layers, and it basically related it to how it works in intervention and how it would work in the school district as a whole. So, like I stated, a systematic approach is a process put into place to ensure teams clarify the essential learning for each course, grade level, and unit of instruction. And this basically establishes consistent pacing. It creates frequent common assessments to monitor students' learning, and it agrees on the criteria they will use to judge the quality of student work. Each team that uses the evidence of student learning, they identify the individual student who needs additional time and support, and they discover the problematic area of the curriculum that requires the attention of a team. And this is to help each member become more aware of his or her instructional strengths and weaknesses. In terms of intervention, it basically it takes away the randomness of the teacher's digression, and it guarantees that all students benefit from a coordinated, methodical, multi-layered fluid plan of intervention. So one of the arguments was a lot of teachers, it's their digression, it's their classroom, it's how they want things. So some teachers will let students have extra additional time on an assignment, or they will go back over it with them. They'll try to help them in any way that they can, whereas other teachers are like, no, you missed the deadline, you get a 0. So the PLCs, they really they recommended the system thinkings because it will provide a consistency with classrooms, with a plan of action to help the students achieve. The plan would provide additional timing and support in the current levels. It would ensure timely assistance, and it would require students to use their extra time if it was given to review their work and basically double check themselves. As a district as a whole, it would make a commitment to high levels of learning for all students. It would have collaborative teacher teams. So instead of, just the teacher, I'm going to teach it this way because I want to, they would have to come together as a whole, and it would guarantee a viable curriculum. It would have frequent and varied common assessments and data. So basically, this would bring me to the main message of the article, and it was the significance of the systematic approach being beneficial, and how to put that in place and why it would be beneficial. My personal reflection on this article is I totally agree with the systematic approach. Now, the article, it didn't want to take away from the individual teacher bettering themselves, because at first that was, how do we improve student achievement? Oh, we teach, we improve teaching, but how can we do that? And a lot of people do the individual teaching. We do professional development. How can we improve this or improve that? And it didn't take away from that, but it just recommended, we need to have a system put in place. It doesn't need to be up to an individual, teacher's digression. There has to be a plan. And I agree with that. As a first year teacher, I did work with multiple people in a team, and we came together of what are we going to do here? Okay, well, my students falling behind here. What can we do, to change up how we're teaching, or what can I add? What can you add? And instead of it was only being me, we came together as a team. This made it to where we were always teaching the same lesson, and if not, one of the teachers was only one lesson ahead. It wasn't like they were a whole unit ahead or a few lessons ahead. We were only one lesson ahead of each other. And this was a wonderful thing for me to experience because it helped me as an educator help my students succeed and help them where they needed. So I did personally agree with the system approach, and I think that it would be a good thing to put in place. Up next presenting will be Andrew.
Hi, my name is Andrew Rains. The article I chose to cover was focused on learning four critical questions to which every educator should have the answers by Everett A. Ryan, published in September 2011. This article emphasizes the need or the importance of a dedicated team of educators and leaders to focus on creating a better learning environment. It argues that schools should shift their focus from teaching to student learning. In the article, Ryan discusses a six-step process developed by Austin Buffum and Mike Matos to create a learning mission. This learning mission is set on or developed on two main points. First one is that every student has the ability to achieve high levels of learning, and the second is that every educator must commit to making this possible. Ryan suggests that at the center of all this, there are three cornerstone pillars almost to focus on. First one is student academic achievement. Then you have positive school culture, and you have teacher and leader effectiveness. These three cornerstones are crucial for a thriving learning environment. He goes on to discuss how teachers, educators, leaders influence the school environment, which in turn affects students' performance. He explains that schools have been adopting professional learning communities, or PLCs, to focus on student learning. He describes a PLC as a community of persons who share similar goals, practices, beliefs, interests, and value systems, and who act strategically, cohesively, and collaboratively to accomplish one or more desired objective with a clear focus on student learning. This article pushes PLCs as a model for fostering collaboration among educators, enabling us to address the four critical questions that every educator must have the answers to, must have some answers to. First question is, what specifically do we expect all students to learn? Second one is, how will we know each student has learned it? Next question is, how will we respond when students are having difficulty learning? And the last one is, how will we respond when students demonstrate that they have learned? As educators, we must shift discussions to focus on effective practices to support all students, rejecting outdated beliefs about learning capabilities. Continuous monitoring of student data is essential for improving practices and achieving desired goals. By addressing these questions, we will be able to build, as educators, we'll be able to build shared knowledge and develop a thriving school, and will lead to our schools to flourish. This article aligns with my own understanding of education and personal development. PLCs or PLC meetings are a place for teachers to come together to analyze student data, student learning, and teacher effect or educator effectiveness. During my first year of teaching, we had PLC meetings every Wednesday. We questions would range from what standards would we teach in this next unit to are the students learning what they need to learn. We would also discuss how we would how we would track student development or student learning. We all decided to use the same system with that through these questions. Um, as educators, we should shift our focus from teaching to student learning. And by addressing these four questions during our PLC meetings, we will help our students succeed in school. Thank you.